All right, everybody, it is Stick and Hack Reacts, their weekly look into what happened over the weekend at the PGA and LPGA. I'm Adam Grubb from Stick and Hack, and that's Keith Stewart from ESPN Radio in New York. The title of our show, Stick and Hack Reacts, what has happened over the weekend in the LPGA and PGA has never been more valid than today, Monday, looking back over the weekend of so many storylines. Where do we start? Where do we begin? I think the most important thing that happened over the weekend is that we crowned a young winner for the LPGA. The U.S. Open has a new winner, Yuka Saso, and she played in a playoff, won the playoff. Incredible story. Your reaction to the women's U.S. Open over the weekend?
The women's U.S. Open, huge thumbs up. Great job by the USGA. Great job by the Olympic Club. Loved every minute of it. I'm sure I loved it more than Lexi Thompson. But, I mean, how about that, Adam? What's your reaction to her having a 5-shot lead with 10 holes to play, and she doesn't even make the playoff? What do you think about that?
I can relate 100%. There's nothing that I can relate to more in golf than somebody choking with 9 holes to go. I was shocked, however, because I did move away from the Open for a few holes, came back and realized, oh my gosh, her lead has gone away. She was leaking oil the entire way in, and was short on 17 and 18 with her putts. There's no way you leave 18 short. And in the history of putts, that's one that's probably going to replay in her mind over and over again. She was the crowd favorite. She was the U.S. favorite. This would have been her first U.S. Open victory. In fact, it might have been her first major or second major, right?
Second.
For Lexi, her second major. This was something that everybody wanted, including her. She wasn't able to do it. And you could feel the deflation of the crowd and of the announcers and everybody, as it was pretty clear there at the end that she was not going to make the playoff and win the U.S. Open. But does that storyline overshadow the storyline of Yuka Saso?
Well, you know what? At first, I thought you were going to say you walked away and you came back, that Lexi felt she was playing so bad she was going to try gymnastics. But then it was on a different channel. No, in all honesty, put Lexi aside. We have a new young superstar, 2 really new young superstars that were crowned this weekend. Obviously, Yuka Saso, 3 playoff holes, playoffs, right? She birdies the 3rd hole. Great win over Nasa Hatako. Unbelievable. She's 22. But how about Megan Gani from New Jersey? High school junior, 17 years old. She makes like a 7-foot putt on the last hole to win the low amateur honors over Maya Stark from Oklahoma State. I mean, just wonderful, wonderful drama out there. And the one thing I'm going to leave you with about Olympic, Adam, right? I know if you ever going to play a match against Mike Ryan, the stick, you got to do it at Olympic. Because 54-hole leaders are now 0-6 at U.S. Opens, and the bigger the star, the harder they fall. Sorry, Lexi, but great win there by the 19-year-old.
There was a weekend that if you were in the lead, and specifically if you had a big lead, you were not in good company and you were not safe. This was not a weekend to lead a tournament by many, many strokes. Lexi and Jon Rahm, who we'll talk about in a second. That takes us to reaction number 2, and that is the Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio. Your reaction to this year's winner, Patrick Cantlay.
Patrick Cantlay, it's nice to see him get a win. Obviously, Memorial's a place that he's comfortable. You know, horses for courses on the PGA Tour. It happens all the time. That's his 2nd win there. He's a little low on the Ryder Cup standings, and he's a really good player. So I'm happy to see him get a win there. He vaults to the top of the FedEx Cup points, and that's going to put him in a position where he's going to be much closer to earning a spot on the Ryder Cup team. And now, I mean, we've got guys like Morikawa, Bryson, Brooks. Wait, what? DJ, right? Patrick Cantlay on the Ryder Cup team. These are the guys we need there. He's a great story, wonderful, well-rounded player.
I'm hearing it, Keith. I'm hearing that. Just say it. Let's get it out in the open. This wasn't a thumbs up. This wasn't a thumbs down. This was like, okay, Patrick Cantlay won.
This is a total asterisk. I don't know if it's an up, a down, or a meh. It's a total asterisk.
I don't think we have an emoji for that. I don't think
we even
have an emoji.
You can totally have an asterisk emoji.
You have 3 options. You have great, nope, or eh. And you throw an asterisk at me. But I agree with you, and we'll talk about it in a second. We'll talk about it in a second. So let's talk about Morikawa then and his putting. This was the Achilles heel for Morikawa and always has been. This is where he had a putt to seal the deal, to put him into, or to at least extend the match and the playoff there. He was unable to do it. This has been his problem all season. Any issues with him? Any reaction to just Morikawa in general?
Well, this is going to sound kind of harsh, but it wasn't like Lexi's putting down the stretch. I mean, seriously. Morikawa made 23 birdies this week, Adam. That was almost more than anybody in the field. Maybe one other guy, but we'll talk about him in a minute. But at the end of the day, I mean, the guy's a great player. So he missed one putt in the end. How about the putt he made on 17? How about the par save putt he made on 16? I mean, those are huge putts. And out of that little rain delay.
But that doesn't. I mean, if you're that is a good point. What about those putts? That's not the putt that would have extended the match. That's the putt that he missed that lost the match for him and gave it to Patrick Cantlay. That's the only putt that matters in that whole thing.
Man, golf is hard. You know, I mean, the putt he made coming out. I mean, how about that whole rain delay scene, right?
Yeah.
He hits that chip when it's pouring rain, and then the official comes out and says, we should take a break, right? Thumbs down for that call. Right? And then Cantlay's like, I don't know how to putt this right now. It's pouring rain. And Morikawa's looking around like, hey, what am I on your pay no mind list? What happened to me? Right? The look on his face, and then Nance and Faldo caught it. They were like, well, he didn't look all that happy right now. I mean, that was just, just the theater last night, Adam. I know we need to get to Jon Rahm, so I got to wrap this up here. But 2 playoffs, one at the Memorial, one at the Women's U.S. Open. I mean, they're both going on at the same time. Unbelievable.
They're both going on at the same time, and also gymnastics was happening at the same time.
I guess so.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
So there
for the record, the gymnastics.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
Right. Thumbs down. I think that's unanimous. Not gymnastics in general.
No.
They moved the U.S. Open playoff to gymnastics for some unexplained reason, I guess, because some sponsors needed to get their show up there.
Thank you for qualifying the Olympic qualifying. I appreciate that.
We love gymnastics here at Stick and Hack Reacts.
Totally.
All right. We got 2.5 minutes to get this out. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. Jon Rahm over the weekend was leading by 6 strokes, lapping the field. Was going to run away with the thing unless things went awry.
Had a hole in one.
Yeah, he had a hole in one. He had perhaps the greatest weekend that you could have as a professional golfer. There was nothing that could happen to him to take the trophy away from him at the Memorial, except for COVID. Apparently, he did not have a vaccine. He came in contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID. Had several days of tests. On the 3rd day, on Saturday, test came back that he was in fact positive for COVID. Therefore, he is now taken out of the tournament and not allowed to play. He was told on the 18th green as he's coming off with media and fans and everybody else. He looked like he got devastating, life-changing news right there off the 18, which was unfortunate for those that didn't know what had happened yet. And then he's immediately whisked away to some underground bunker, and we'll see him on Tuesday at Torrey Pines. Tell me your reaction, Keith, to Jon Rahm.
I mean, big thumbs down here, all around. I mean, what a debacle. The whole thing, right? Yes, the PGA Tour should have asked him to withdraw. Yes, he should have been vaccinated. Yes, he lost $1.6 million and 500 FedEx Cup points. Yes, he interrupted his U.S. Open prep on a course where he's won before, and he's definitely one of those guys that would have been a huge favorite because he plays there really well, and obviously he is playing very well. And, the most important thing in all of this is there's a message. Yes, there should be a huge wake-up call for not just the PGA Tour or the LPGA Tour, but all professional athletes. Just go get vaccinated, right? This doesn't need to be a thing. It just means that, why would you risk all of this, Adam?
Yeah.
Question to you. Why would you risk all of that?
I don't know.
I
can't answer that. And when it's your job and when you have nothing else to fall back on, you know the stakes. And there's 2 camps here. There's Rahm's an idiot for not getting vaccinated. PGA's idiots for making him. Why didn't they let him play by himself in a bubble? And you hear all these things. Let him tee off at 5 a.m. and play his round and without fans and all that stuff. at the end of the day, the PGA did what they were supposed to do. They're supposed to follow the protocol. And if Jon Rahm was 58th on Saturday, this wouldn't have been news. Nobody would have cared. He would have put out a statement and would have been out. The only reason this is news and big time is because he was leading. Of course it sucks. Of course everyone's pissed. But what are you supposed to do? If you're the PGA, you can't do something for somebody just because they're leading. That can imagine the catastrophe and the PR windfall of negativity that would happen if that was the case. Hey, Rahm's leading, so he can play by himself in a special exemption. Ridiculous. So I don't know if anything has been more divisive in golf in the past 6 months than the Rahm or COVID, Rahm v. COVID, except for maybe Bryson v. DeChambeau. But
it's a pretty good one.
Brooks v. DeChambeau. But this is something that will probably go away in about 72 hours, unlike his bunker time.
His 10 days.
That's 10 days.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, I just hopefully there's a message to everyone involved that they continue to take this seriously. I mean, I know you and I, before we got vaccinated, we were getting tested every Monday before Reacts because this is a serious thing, folks. And let's just treat it as such.
All the people here.
You know?
Indeed, Keith. It was a wild weekend of golf and the storylines, and we didn't even get to half of them. There were so many things that happened. This continues to be theater in sports that golf has not seen in a long time. And I don't know if I know you keep track of the golf Twitter sphere, but there was so much love, so much excitement for the women's game right now, for the U.S. Open, for what was happening, and with these young stars, the Yuka Saso ties as the youngest major winner, and then you've got these amateurs coming in doing this stuff after a bogey. It was some really cool theater all weekend. So our reaction over the weekend, thumbs up for me because it was just great. But so many things to uncover and unpack continually. Keith, enjoy your week. And I know you've got some big plans this week. You're doing a lot of different things around the golf space. So thank you for taking time for Stick and Hack Reacts. Keith Stewart from ESPN Radio in New York. I'm Adam Grubb with Stick and Hack. We'll see you next Monday for another reaction of a fun-filled, action-packed weekend of LPGA and PGA golf news.
Adam Grubb, enjoy the lunch today, my friend. Take it easy.
Later.